This is day 6 of me trying to not be completely trash at YouTube. So, today I am actually in a new location for those of you that have noticed already. I've got this beautiful blue sheet behind me. Normally I have that red one, but here we are. So, getting adjusted to this new spot that I'm at. So, yesterday I kind of talked about how I go in early to work. I talked about it. I go into Trader Joe's. I actually have to be to work at 4 in the morning. That's like a whole 4 hours before the store even opens. It's pretty crazy being there at 4 in the morning. It's a whole different place. But I don't think a lot of people know what actually happens there at 4 in the morning. So when I get there, well, first off, let's start from the beginning. Whenever I have to be at Trader Joe's at 4 in the morning, I am rolling out of bed at 3:30, the absolute earliest. I get up out of bed. I don't live very far from the Trader Joe's. So I literally get up, throw my shirt on, throw my pants on, and brush my teeth and leave. I go straight there. I'm half asleep. The whole drive there, there's nobody on the road. There's the occasional red light. Actually, on my way to work every single day, I catch every single red light at 3:30, 3:45 in the morning. It's a mathematical oddity. Somehow I managed to catch every single last one all the way to work. And it takes me a little bit because of that. But I finally roll in at 3:59 and I walk in and I'm able to clock in on the dot at 4. So when you walk in, all the lights are on. There are a few people there at that point. It's not really that busy yet. With workers, I mean. So you walk in, and my specific section, they divided everything up into sections. I work in produce. So I walk in, I clock in, and I go walk straight to the back where the produce is. I stand there for a couple minutes before other people show up. Maybe sometimes there's already someone there, maybe the rest show up a little bit later. But we all basically stand in a circle. We've got, eye crusties in our eye boogers in our eye. We are staring at the floor for the first 5 minutes. Nobody says a word. We are just zombies, staring at the ground, enjoying the pretty coloring of the tiles. And then all of a sudden, one person of the group, and it's usually the same person, decides to spark up conversation. We start talking about, the usual stuff. Produce, exhilarating. We start talking about what we did the night before, why we're all tired and everyone's half asleep right now, like what we did to get to this point. And then, after that, we all stand around in basically this summoning circle for Trader Joe's vibes, and we stand there for about 15 to 20 minutes, all just literally talking about absolutely nothing. At 4:15 in the morning, waiting for the first pallet to come out of the back. We're waiting there for a while, and finally, this big pallet comes out filled with whatever, different types of produce. And they're usually pretty tall. They're usually about 6 to 8 feet tall. These things are massively heavy and just filled with every type of thing we would unload and put onto the shelves. So then a few people will peel out of this summoning circle and start heading over to start breaking down the pallets. We are literally half asleep carrying 40 to 50 pounds of potatoes or celery and moving it onto different pallets, moving things around. Basically what feels like calculus at that time in the morning, all trying to figure out where everything needs to go, how many of what we need to make sure the shelves are adequately stocked. And we do that for about an hour, where we're just juggling these boxes, and sometimes we go through this entire pallet that's 8 foot tall and 4 feet deep of just boxes, and just to get a couple things from the bottom, and then everything we pack right back on, and then send the pallet itself back to the back room. We basically just destroy the whole thing, take things out, and build it right back up just to get a few things out from the bottom. We send it back. Then after that, it's about 15 to 30 of those guys. We are just juggling these pallets. And around that time, we have a relief that comes in, a second set of people. That's the 5 a.m.ers. They get a little bit more sleep. Normally their tails are a little bit bushier. They're much more go-get-em attitude comes in, and all of us are livid about it. The 4 a.m.ers, we want nothing to do with it. We are still somehow, after lifting hundreds of pounds of produce, still half asleep at 5 a.m. And just that extra hour, apparently, for some people is plenty. They walk in, finish breaking down the same amount of pallets one more time. And then we get to go over to our individual sections and start putting away the produce that we had staged, is what we call it. You got to go through, you're looking at numbers. It's like 5:30 in the morning. It's basically hieroglyphs at that point, no idea. You just got to make sure they're in numerical order by the date, so the oldest stuff goes out first and the newest stuff eventually gets picked later throughout the day. And we do that for about an hour. People are yelling, and I'm not gonna lie, it sounds like a literal zoo in there. Some people's laughs, the people talking, yelling, like at 6:30 in the morning. For some reason, the summoning circle has taken full effect at this point. The energy is just pouring out. Everyone is yelling and laughing and dancing, and music's played on blast, all different kinds. A lot of times they go around and ask us each to pick our own individual songs, which is the craziest thing. I appreciate listening to one song that I have chosen, but you'll go from some random death metal song to a pop culture like Lil Nas song, and it just throws you through a loop. It's crazy. These songs just keep coming random. Someone decides to put on that random anime song that they listened to on that one show they watched 5 years ago. So next thing you know, you're putting away celery and you're listening to someone sing in Japanese in some K-pop sounding soundtrack. Not that there's anything necessarily wrong with K-pop, but it's 6:30 in the morning. It's not usually my first choice when I'm trying to put away carrots as fast as I possibly can. So we get all that together. We finally get all the stuff put away. And then we go pick up the mops. And it's like, it almost seems like a SpongeBob episode with everyone picking up mops. And it's like a fleet of people just all getting in a line and mopping the store from side to side all the way back. It's like in perfect unison all the way back. I might be working for a cult, actually, now that I think about it. It's too perfect, I guess. But I enjoy it, so I guess I'm part of that cult now. Anyway, we all scrape in just in time for someone to pull out this Zamboni. It's this big blue cart that has this spinning brush on it that is literally, its only purpose is to just make sure all the water's picked up, so the people that come into Trader Joe's don't walk in and just slip and eat it on the tile, because for some reason it's always the customers that are, we walk around on these mop floors the entire time, but it's always the customers that just eat it as soon as they walk in. So we have to have the Zamboni and go around, and there is a literal line out the door as soon as 8 o'clock comes around. After we've just finished all this stuff, we head to the registers, we throw on those half-baked smiles and try to hide our desperation as we get through the last few hours of our day. That's the general rundown of Trader Joe's. I'm not gonna lie, it's a beautiful place, but it's also 4 a.m.'s really early, man. Anyway, that's the video for today. New place, didn't have a ton of energy, no hands at all. But thank you for those of you that are watching. And if you could be so kind to drop a subscribe for me or even a like down below. I'm trying to get to 50 subscribers so I can go live on YouTube. I think that would be a fun time, getting on, talking to literally no one for 15-20 minutes. Sounds like a good time to me. But you guys keep being you.